Right now, Carrie Lightfoot of the Well-Armed Woman joins us on the program. Carrie, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Cameron. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for coming on the program. And, you know, it is great to see, I won't even say positive coverage. It's great to see factual reporting on the Well-Armed Woman. I mean, this isn't a puff piece by the Associated Press. It's just a solidly reported story about the why women are joining the Well-Armed Woman, why women are becoming gun owners, and kudos for the Associated Press for actually asking and answering that question and allowing these women to speak.
I agree. It's really positive to see them just accurately covering what's happening and not making any twists on it or trying to send a mixed message. So we're very happy to see that.
Absolutely. And this latest piece by the Associated Press, this was in Indiana, right?
Correct. Yes.
And I thought this was really, really interesting. Laura Lane, the author, starts out by telling a little bit about the one of the women, Kim Bartlett. It says, being attacked by 4 men while working as an unarmed security guard, spending years in an abusive marriage, and then a burglary at her home taught Kim Bartlett a thing or two about staying safe. A gun and knowing how to use it is the answer for her. She has a concealed carry permit, most often has a gun within reach. She packs a 9mm handgun, owns more than 20 pistols and long guns. And then the story goes from there. You know, Carrie, you know this as well as I do. I mean, there is this attempt right now by a lot of folks in the media, and certainly by anti-gun groups, to portray any gun owner, but particularly women gun owners, as somebody to be a little afraid of. This is weird. This is unusual. We got to talk to these moms here about why they're owning guns. Well, now you know why Kim owns a gun, and who are you? Who is anybody? Who is any anti-gun advocate to tell Kim Bartlett that she doesn't have the right to protect herself?
Absolutely. And I resent some of the premise that those arguments are really built upon, is that somehow women need the protection of these politicians or protection from guns. I'm kind of perpetuating, women as victims that aren't capable of protecting themselves when we are. And as she says, for her, the answer and knowing how to use it, that's the answer for her. And so I get really frustrated. And we just did a video we recorded, had women send in their own words why it was so important for them to own and carry a firearm. And it's so powerful just to hear women themselves saying, because I need to protect myself. And they give all of these great personal reasons. And it's really very powerful just to hear it in their own words and not have anyone speaking on behalf of them.
Yeah, I can imagine. I want to see that video. Is it up at the Well-Armed Woman right now?
Yeah, it's on the Well-Armed Woman TV, which is the YouTube channel.
Excellent. All right, because it is so important. Because you're right, we do have folks who want to who want to speak for, and I would say for women generally, right? And then of course, when they speak for women, it becomes sort of an anti-gun position by default. And the simple fact is that women who own guns, no different than men who own firearms. Right. Rarely, I would say, Carrie, is this an impulse decision, right? I was going to go to the sporting goods store and get maybe some new socks, but then I decided I was going to become a gun owner too. I mean, that doesn't happen. There are particularly if you didn't grow up in a gun owning household, you think about this for a long time before you decide to become a gun owner.
You absolutely do. And we all, man, woman, we all have the right to protect ourselves. So when they start kind of classifying that women somehow need to be protected differently, it's really frustrating for me. But no, women take the decision extremely seriously, as do all gun owners, as you said, responsible gun ownership. That's what that term means, is that it's a thoughtful decision and that proper tools are in place and safe storage are considered and training. And that's who we are. The folks that aren't that are the ones who are perpetrating crimes against us or robberies and such. And we're two different animals, and one needs to be dealt with firmly. That's what our laws need to be doing, is punishing and removing those people from harming us, but not those of us that are responsibly wanting to protect ourselves.
So over the past 2 years, according to Gallup, Carrie, support for new gun control laws among women has dropped from 69% down to 55%. That's the biggest drop of any demographic group that Gallup recorded. Are you surprised to hear that number?
Actually, no. I think that women are really stepping up to educate themselves on what their options are and understanding better what their options are. So I think we're just seeing women become more educated and more activated and more vocal and spending dollars and time and investing themselves in their own protection.
Do you see this? Do you see this continuing on the path that we've seen over the past few years?
I think so. Sometimes I'll do interviews and they want to kind of couch it as a trend or a fad or something, and it's not. The state of things are very unsettled, and when we see the world unsettled in our communities and in other parts of the world, that affects us. We rationally and we intellectually realize that is across the planet, but it still causes a lot of anxiety, and that reality sets in that our ability and our right to protect ourselves is really, really important. And I think that even increases the support for the Second Amendment, and even in those that don't personally own a firearm. I think that's the result of seeing our world in turmoil. Is there's really no way to avoid accepting the reality that it's scary out there, and that bad things are happening, and people have the right to protect themselves. I think we're going to see it continue to grow.
I think you're right, and I think that it's interesting. The gun control advocates seem to be trying any argument that they can, Carrie, to try to get people to not exercise that right. Whether it's, again, otherizing women who own guns, or proclaiming that right to carry actually makes things worse, even though we've seen the violent crime rate drop in this country to levels not seen in 40 years with the rise of right to carry. And I think ultimately, again, it comes down to these individuals who have made that decision for themselves, that this is how I want to protect myself. I know that I have that right. And at that point, it becomes personal. It's not I'm fighting for somebody else's hypothetical right to own a gun. I am fighting for my ability to protect the people that I love and to protect myself. Right. And how dare you take that away or try to take that away from me?
Right, and and even the stories coming out of Ferguson of everybody purchasing guns. I think we all at some level kind of personalize that, because even if that's not our community, sadly, it could be, or one day it could be, and I think we personalize that and realize that how important it is to consciously and thoughtfully determine how would you protect yourself, how would you protect your business, how would you protect your family, and there's no way to avoid gun ownership in that thought process.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. Listen, Carrie, I appreciate you coming on the program this afternoon. Thank you for everything that you're doing. And if folks want more information about the Well-Armed Woman, if there's a chapter near them, if they want to start a chapter near them, how do they do it?
They can find everything on the wellarmedwoman.com. On the website is everything you ever wanted to know about the Well-Armed Woman is right there.
Awesome, Carrie. Listen, thanks so much again. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
All right. Take care, Cameron.
All right. Thank you. Carrie Lightfoot joins us from the Well-Armed Woman here on NRA News, Cam and Company.